Hi, besties. I'm so glad you're here this week. I was literally just crying to Georgio, who is joining me 5 seconds ago, and the way we just said lights, camera, action, because we're on a schedule and we don't have time for tears. It's just one of those days. We all have them. I'd like to say especially females, but I don't think females are the only ones. I don't think any sort of gender is excluded from that. So thank you, Georgio, for joining me today.
This is what I'm here for. First of all, I just want to say that you are not crying. You are just having a moment. And
Mm,
it's like I said, the full moon in Aquarius has heightened everyone's emotions around things that were challenges. So, just saying the
hmm
universe likes to check us sometimes. But it's all good.
I need the universe to stop checking my ass. I am in line, kind of. I'm not in line. Fine. Oh my God. Okay. We have like some news we do have to get into. Um, wow. So the first thing, very quickly, Roni Legacy got bumped up to December. Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip Morocco, the one that Brandy Glanville and Caroline Manzo are on, it got bumped to 2024. Now, I'm sure you're hearing the same thing I am, that it was because of the Brandy and Caroline quote unquote incident. Is that what you're hearing? Do you think they're like testing this out with audiences or something, or like running it by legal still?
I I think that's the easy headline for this because of the whole incident with Caroline. I did read something where they said this is probably Caroline trying to push this back because she doesn't want to be on camera, but it's already been filmed. She already signed the contracts. I don't believe that. It may have something to do, like, I think that part of it is the benefit. I really think they're trying to capitalize on pushing the reboot of New York by pulling Legacy up further to try to get
Mm,
people who aren't watching to try to watch, like give them what they asked for initially. That's my gut on this. I
mm,
really don't think they would push it back over that because they would want, if anything, they'd want to show it because they
capitalize on it.
correct. So
Hmm
I really think, if anything, and you know what? Shout out to Brandy. She always seems to get screwed over lately with these projects that she does.
Yeah.
But I do think it's a good idea. Now, if that's gonna work, I don't know because again, this is just it's an ultimate girls trip. It's not like a full on series, so I'm not sure how they will capitalize on it as much as they think they may. If that's in fact the reason why.
Yeah, I think because your point is pretty well made. I mean, why wouldn't they capitalize on what was already happening? We've been talking about it. I also don't see it being that like Caroline doesn't have that power there anymore.
No.
It's she can't say, "Oh, I don't want you guys to show this." You're right. It's done. It's in the can. We're good. Um there's a loud noise. I am so sorry. I'm coming in
I
from
can't hear anything.
Okay, great, because I'm in a new I can't even talk today. Listen, it's amateur hour. I have shown up. um, for those of you who are not watching on YouTube, I'm in a new location at the moment. So we're just kind of testing it out. The refrigerator is saying, "Hey, what's up? I'm going to fuck around with your audio." So, hi refrigerator, thanks for showing up. Yeah, there it is. That being said, now this might be controversial of me to say. I find this person at this point to be worse than Tom Sandoval. Lenny Hochstein.
Oh
Hochstein.
God.
How are we pronouncing this? Am I saying it incorrectly?
I think it's Hochstein.
Hochstein. Okay. Proposed it to his I'm coming up, I'm using the word mistriance because mistress fiance, he proposed to Katerina. While he's still married to Lisa. And then on top of that, oh my God, he posts a photo of it, and ain't that just so darling? He did one of those in collaboration with.
I saw that. It was so stupid.
Did Giorgio, did you see, number one, did you see his shoes sock
Okay.
combination? A follower pointed that out.
I'm so glad, and I think I saw this. I think I saw someone actually talk about this, which I'm so happy because that was the first thing that stood out to me. Was like, this is so planned and produced on her part. You just know that they did a run through of this. She told him what to wear, and she bought him those fucking shoes that are for like a teenager. And here his old ass is up on the top of this mountain, kneeling down on his bad knees with these big ass fucking sneakers. You look a fucking mess. I'm sick of these top of the mountain engagements. Stop it. I've had it. And you're still married. So how dumb do they look in collaboration? Just post it separately. No one gives a shit. Was this a sponsored post? I am so sorry. I am very angry clearly about this. I feel like Gina with the whole Jen thing. Unnecessary. But it's just the audacity that he has. And then his mom chiming in. Listen, this is like she needs to stop commenting on stuff. Your grandchildren are going to see this shit one day.
When I tell you that number one on his bad knee, oh my God, like how long did it take him to get up from that kneeling position? Like, yes, sir, you were 57 years old. Your fiance is 27 years old. You were 30 years old when she was born.
Hold on one second. My dog is screaming.
I can't hear your sweet, angelic little Mr. Dog over the
Hey,
goddamn fridge.
Mister. We're all home, sweetheart.
Now,
He does
friends,
that when he thinks he's going to. Sorry, go ahead.
no. Oh, no, I love this because I think it's becoming a thing. If y'all did not see what happened with the
Thank
spider
God. I
last
hope
week.
there's not another one, Ty.
Oh my God, y'all, when I explained to you that I like now I've had a child, and so I mean this genuinely. I kind of wet my pants when I was rewatching it. I was laughing so hard.
It's so funny.
Giorgio had an intruder with a spider. I took it out of the audio version because I was like, there was no way to integrate that where someone wasn't going to be like my fucking eardrums. Oh my God. But that was one of the funniest things. I just go watch on YouTube last week, the Orange County episode Giorgio and I did. Um, a spider comes in about the 5 minute mark, and I'm dying to know what the spider ended up looking like because the way Giorgio was beating this spider, I was like, surely there's a human being under that table.
It was something out of a Lifetime movie, except the spider wasn't some like weird sibling that hates me. It was probably like the size, honestly, guys, because this is why I like was laughing hysterically
Telefish
more
story,
so than
please.
anyone. I so I sit up on the top floor of our house. So it's a converted attic that is a loft. It's beautiful. It's great. The one thing in the summertime is you'll get every now and again a little critter, whether it be a fly, which I did say this, I will happily open a window and escort a fly out of the house. The spiders, I don't care how big or small. Those things that can just have a sticky piece of invisible string that they can just slide up next to you like it's not a big fucking deal. That audacity is what caused my rage. And what you saw was when I was in one of the clips, I was grabbing my seat and hopping up and down. That was me finally seeing that it had gone underneath the seat leg. And I figured this is my moment to kill this son of a bitch. So I had to like really go in for it. But the issue when I look back at it was that this thing was probably the size of like, yay, that big. It was nothing that would have, if it had gotten on me, I wouldn't have noticed, is all I'm saying. But I saw it and it was literally right next to me when you were like in the middle of asking a question. I glanced over. I was like, that can't be what I think it is. Please, not now. And then I look again and it was even lower and closer. And I lost my shit. And I'm so grateful that nothing has popped up out of thin air today.
Listen, I I'm glad we have a better understanding. Now I'm going to get the giggles again because it was, oh my God. It was like, it, I thought, if you saw that, you have to go watch it on the YouTube if you didn't already watch it, because I don't know how else to explain the, the hilarity of it, because it was like, I thought Georgio, like, you can see how slow my understanding of what was going on was, because I thought you were like, oh my God, because I had called someone a TikTok star. Sorry. And I was like, and I go, star, why am I using the word star so much? Am I okay? And I was like, maybe I'm really not, because you all of a sudden Georgio just goes, oh my God. I have watched this video, you guys, like probably 500 times, and it never stops being funny to me. I don't because like it was, again, it was such a slow reaction on my part. I just literally was like, what the, and then he lets out this scream that I was like, "Oh my God, you know what? I'm so glad that if someone were trying to like come after you, you would let everyone in the vicinity know." I would forget to, because I would be just like fighting for my life. You know how to multitask. You can fight for your life and let people know you are fighting for your life at the same time. And I find that impressive.
You
Just so
know
you know.
what? I didn't know I had it in me, but apparently, as I'm protecting myself, I want to let everyone around me know that I'm doing so, because I
It's
just want
great.
the story straight in the news.
Yes.
But you might as well have just
Mhm.
expected a human being to be popping up next to me with that scream and that
It
reaction, which
it
is a
was
bit
wonderful.
alarming.
It was impressive. I'm impressed. Okay. Yeah. Oh yeah. So let me just tell y'all very briefly what Marina Hochstein said on the comment section of the engagement post, which was, I will be very happy that this time you are getting a woman with, I'm sorry, a woman who love and respect you. You certainly did not have that in your previous marriage. Good luck. Congratulations. Oh my God. If the, I love our word today. The word of the day is audacity. It's audacity, I'm pretty sure. Then now I'm going to pronounce her last name incorrectly. I meant to look this up. Erin, I'm not even going to say her last name because I'm going to say it incorrectly. I know I will. From the new Roni, donated to a PAC that was part of Trump funding. I mean, it was a couple $100, but it was for steal the election. It was very clearly like vote red, or red for America for red, something like that, right? Like, I'm sure, I know you saw this. I took screenshots, and
Yes.
yeah. And she very much, was like defending it, saying, "Oh, I absolutely believe the election was won fairly." And it was like, "Ma'am, I absolutely did not pen you for a Republican out of, wow.
Oh, I did.
Did you?"
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. When they announced this cast, the day after, there was a woman who used to be Aaron's assistant 10 years ago who said that she still had not been paid for the horrible alleged situations that she had to work, because Aaron used to have a handbag line. I'm not sure if you know that, but she
Oh,
had a handbag line that's no longer in
right.
existence. And there's this like loft that she had the intern or assistant working in, and this woman
Yes.
was like going back and forth with Aaron about, I can't live off what you're paying me, and you didn't pay me my last check, which wasn't that much in the end of it. But her point was like, and who do I see splashed across my screen? It's the woman who didn't pay me. And then so when this came out, not that they're directly connected, but I
Mhm.
kind of had this view, and her response to this is the response she what is she going to do? Come out and say, no, I absolutely do believe that the election was stolen, and da da da, because then she'll know she'll get canceled. Whoever is dealing with her and trying to clean up this mess, she's going to have to answer to it at one point. She's too new. She can't dodge it. We want to know what's up, guys. Ladies, if you're going to get on our shows, we're going to want to know which side of the political fence you lean on, and pay your employees and pay for your services. We will find out and we will talk about it. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you. That is the PSA. There was a point in time where it could be said being Republican isn't the worst thing on the planet, but that is until it's I'm going to say social media, things like that have been able to bring more awareness to the rights that are being voted, to be taken away from people. It's not just women. Okay. It's also any type of relationship you happen to be in. It just goes on for days. And also, our children are being shot in school. So, I mean, yeah, go ahead. You must keep your guns. It's not a political show, but here we are. That's
Thoughts and prayers.
exactly. And that's, if I'm sure there are aspects to the Republican views that don't have anything to do with human rights. Maybe there's some things like the financial aspect of things, but human rights are human rights issues. So, okay. That's why we have a problem. It's not just us saying, oh, we don't like anyone who's not a Democrat. It's we don't like anyone who is going to be on the side of anti-human, is what I would say. Okay. Did you see this? Okay, so we know that this special ops show that Tom Sandoval is with Nick Viall, Tara Reid. Who else was going to be on it? Like, wasn't
Black
it?
China is on it, and gosh, I forget.
Mhm.
But really quick,
Mm,
shout out to Fox because they actually gave me my first big network sponsorship. I actually
okay,
promoted the first edition of Special Forces that had Kenya
okay.
on it. So I am excited for this one. Not so much for Tom Sandoval, but because of I have been following Black China's journey, so I'm interested to see how she uh, does on this.
Absolutely. I like the journey she is on currently. We're seeing a big change with her. Well,
Mm-hmm.
on the Vial files, Nick, I always want to say Vial. Why do I probably? I don't know. Anyway, Nick said that Tom Sandoval snuck in photos of Rachel and that it was not an easy thing to do. He wanted to sneak in photos of his own fiance, Natalie, and that he wasn't even able to do that. And that Sandoval, like, yeah, deliberately brought in photos of, like, did you go to Walgreens or do you have a printer at home, Sandoval? How did you do this? Number one, did you get like wallet size? That
Picture for what? What do you need it for? You're gonna
like did you
forget what she looks like?
were you going to war and like
Oh
you
my
needed a
god!
photo of your
Stop.
sweetheart?
Oh, was there a handwritten letter with the photos too?
I mean, I don't know how big is the handwritten letter? Where did you sneak it in? What did you sneak it in with,
I thought they
Sandoval?
checked them like thoroughly though. How would you tape it to your inside of your butt cheek?
That's what I'm like. They must not have done the prison cough on him because oh
Clearly
my
not.
god. And why would you for a photo of Rachel? What are you doing with that? Isn't that bizarre?
Which photo?
I know. That's a good question. Is it of her in like
Anyways,
the little fluffy sleeved outfit where she's like,
I am so like I want Sandoval to get the rest of the shit thrown at him in the kitchen sink this upcoming. I don't want to. I am so sick of him and his crap. He's
Mhm.
milked this for everything he can.
And listen, they are both equally culpable. He's the one that was in the relationship. And yet, as it always goes for women, she is the one blamed for the entirety of it and had to go into hiding. Now, again, that being said, I also want to add something here. Now, friends, there is a reason why you haven't seen me posting about every goddamn BTS random ass picture you could find. And it's because I am so tired of every content creator trying to ride the Scandival high by ruining every goddamn scene that is being filmed. They are not going to be able to film anything in public anymore. Period. Period. I would like to be surprised by the season. I don't need to know every little thing happening. How are you feeling about that, by the way?
Um, I I agree. Listen, I love a good BTS. You have no idea. I love seeing the
Same.
action happening. but every day, every scene, we're getting a leak. This is not normal. This is production doing this because they have to keep the show momentum going somehow. And they know Scandival was huge for them. It turned the show ratings around. It was going to be canceled. It was on the chopping
Absolutely.
block. And this absolutely saved the show. So, yes, I do think that producers are like, sure, yeah, film away, guys. Take pictures. We're here because I think they want us to see when Tom's sitting in a corner by himself. Like we've seen how many videos now where he's in the same building as Ariana and you see her on one side laughing and he's just like with his head down at the table. And we're like, oh my gosh. But you know what? It'll be interesting to see with the amount of BTS if all of that will be included in the season
Mm,
because sometimes what they like to do is give us something in a trailer and then never show us the actual scene. So I wonder with how much of the BTS we'll get in the actual season where we can look back and say, "Oh, yes, I remember they filmed this."
exactly. Exactly. You know, I am how do I put this? I don't want to be negative. How do I say this in the best way possible? I'm nervous because I believe, and I've said this for a little bit, that Scandival may have been the death of all of it. And it may have been the saving grace, but also the death. And it may have been where it needed to be left off. Kind of in the sense like, oh, what's a better example? You know how Game of Thrones ended like in this rushed sense? It was supposed to be done, but it needed more time. I don't know if you watched
Mhm.
it.
No.
That okay. Well, for anyone who did, that final season, it felt rushed. They could have told that story i- literally in two more seasons, but it had been going on for a while. Fine. They needed one more season to tell this story. I'm afraid in almost the opposite sense, this is going to get the same treatment with Vanderpump Rules because what no it's not sensationalized the same way it was. Everyone's still chasing that high and they're showing every single freaking scene that's been in public to the point where so many of like the fans are even saying like can you stop posting so many BTS? I love a snippet. Give me one little taste of something. Give me just like a little sprinkle. I don't want the whole season. You can it's just because then on top of that, I think it would make it more difficult for the editors to tell the story because I'm sorry y'all, we all know everything is not like completely linear in the
No.
way reality
That's
TV is
what I
shot.
don't that you can't even look at it from that angle and say, "Oh, well, timeline-wise, no," because they might use a later conversation earlier in the season because it makes
Yep.
more sense there. It's not linear, it's not in a timeline. So that's why like people get up in arms about stuff and they don't know how it all works. They think, oh, it's like filming a movie. They're filming in sequence. It's not. They
No,
literally,
movies
sometimes
aren't
they
that
film
way.
stuff and nothing comes out of that filming. So we're getting BTS of something that was just like kaput. There was no
Mhm.
energy. Nobody did anything. No one said anything. But to us, we're going to be waiting for the scene. Where's the scene of them in the restaurant where Sheena's wearing the yellow sweater? It's like, we're not going to get
Exactly.
it because nothing happened or maybe it didn't fit in the narrative. It's just,
Or someone walked into the shot and they couldn't get the same thing to happen organically. It's so different with reality. You know, if this was scripted, they can get another angle. They have so many different shots. They only have so many cameras they can have surrounding these people before you see another camera. And they don't like breaking the fourth wall, even though we love it on in its like sprinkled in here and there, which we'll discuss here when we get into Orange County. But that being said, it's just kind of like man, and then like that whole first half, not first half, I'm going to say first quarter of filming, Sandoval is off in New Zealand doing this special ops thing. And listen, was it kind of, we don't condone violence, but it was kind of funny seeing him with the mustache shaved. If you haven't seen the photos where he might have had a bloody nose. Oops. Um, you know, no, as far as we know, a person didn't do that to him. It must have been an accident. I'm very sorry for your facial accident, Sandoval. Mm.
I am
Um,
not.
yeah, not totally. Why don't we take a very brief break and then let's just jump into Orange County.
Let's do it.
Welcome back, friends. Okay, Orange County. I say it every week. I'm still loving it. I am. It's doing it for me.
It's good. It's doing it for me too.
Hmm. Uh, so we'll just go ahead and start off where we picked up from the Tres Amigos at that rooftop restaurant. Shannon is over there at production, at producers. If this is aired, my relationship is over. It's over. John Jansen is a private person. It is over. Why did he decide to date a reality star if he's that much of a private person? And Shannon Medore while we're at it.
You know what it is? I think what she was getting at was she was probably remembering all the drunk fights that they probably had, and she divulged that probably to Heather, and she's afraid that is what is going to be talked about. And if that is what's talked about, then yeah, John Jansen will be done with you. I mean, he is done with her, but I'm saying at that moment, yes, I could see that because yes, he's probably a private person. He doesn't mind popping on the show and supporting her, but he surely does not want his dirty laundry and what they get into arguments, especially if they're like drunken. Because I can imagine, I mean, hello, she just allegedly yelled at John Jansen's daughter at Tiki Bar last week. So I'm
Right.
just saying, I can only imagine what was running through her head in terms of what was actually discussed. Because no one said what it was. It was just like, oh, it's not good.
That's it right there. And that I did fail to mention was the rumored Shannon's quote unquote removal from Tiki Bar. But then we've been sorry, the explanation does crack
It's
me up.
just,
We are hearing that Shannon was not actually removed. Now, I've also seen there are people who were eyewitnesses. Eyewitnesses, like it was a crime.
I know,
Um,
wild.
who said like, no, it was actually John's daughter instigating things. And then there were people who were saying that security removed Shannon, but then her people said actually Shannon didn't have her glasses on. It was getting help because she was trying to find her Uber. Now, is Shannon a little cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs? Absolutely. Do I love her as a housewife? Yes. Okay. She brings so much. She brings physical comedy, she brings comedy. She brings the some of the slight delusion like putting crystals in her teeth. Like, y'all, this is what you want in a housewife, okay? She had her divorce on camera. She's dealt with all sorts of things, okay? We we needed this. We needed her, I should say. Um, and also to me, like, there's something that you can see physically happen with Shannon whenever she's like spiraling. It's where her head doesn't move and only her eyes do. Where she just like it's like you can hear the squeaky sound of her eyes just going back and forth. And then she starts, when she's really feeling something, her hands come up here and it's the back of her hands. And it's very like, she's directing air traffic and it is just and she's basically voguing at this point. And it's
You
just
can't
it's a
do this to me. You
yeah,
can't, you just don't do that.
she gets Barbie hands.
Yes. Oh my god, I noticed that more this episode than any other episode. Those hands, the jet, like I am like, what the f, Shannon?
It's Shannon Storms Bador. Um, so then Vicky says to Shannon when she comes back over to the table, Vicky's like, "Oh, so what are you going to do about it, Shannon?" And Shannon says, "I'm going to say read between the lines, motherfucker." And she like flips talking about with Heather. And I know we're at a new point with Heather Dubrow. Something about trying to say Bador and Dubrow, that is a little more challenging than I
It's
thought it was going
tricky.
to be. um,
It's tricky.
they're at a new point, but I don't know why. Okay, well, she must have been drinking that night. She trusted Heather, is what it really comes down to. Um, I after the whole thing that happened, what was it, her first or second season on Orange
Mm-hmm.
County? Um,
When Heather got in her, yep.
it said, please leave my home. I have no idea what you are talking about. That whole thing. Um,
First of all, that flashback
oh, it
was
was bad.
wild because it was like, I remember that. And I remember feeling the anxiety of what it must feel like to be told to get out of someone's house
Oh
while
my
you're
God.
being filmed and it's your first season.
And the way they gaslit her at that dinner
Yes.
when Heather looks at Terry, should we call an ambulance? You saw in one eye 51 and in her other eye 50 reflected in Heather Dubrow's eyes. It was like, girl, they
I
they
just want
gaslit
to
her.
I want to know why they are trying to now pin this whole thing on Tamra. Tamra's the one that's bringing it up. No, actually, it's not. Because here's why, and this is why it's funny, and we'll probably get to this point, but when it comes up when Tamra and Jen and Heather are done working out, and Heather picks up on the fact that Tamra's asking a lot of questions around what she knows about John and Shannon, and she knows what Tamra's doing, but that lets me know that Heather was using, because Heather plays like she's there for you, like she did with
Mhm.
Gina and the tractor.
Mhm.
Like she's the older mentor, she's here to help you. But in
Mhm.
fact, she uses that as a way to get information out of you, and then she'll use it against you. Maybe not directly, but she'll do what she did. She'll say it in front of Emily, knowing that Emily's going to have to bring this back. Someone has to bring this up. You can't have all these cast members know something and not discuss it. So I think this is where we're seeing that Heather is playing dirty and keeping her hands clean on camera.
So here's the thing, and I said this. One of my girlfriends came over last night to watch the show with my mom and I, and basically I find that Heather is more believable when she's telling you something.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't feel that we have ever known Tamara to intentionally lie. Does she sometimes forget things? Yeah. um,
Mm-hmm.
that being said, I'm going to be honest here. I see both sides of this. Heather didn't bring it up on camera because if these are people that have real relationships, they have to have some things that are said off camera, right?
Mm-hmm.
That being said, Tamara's in here doing her job. Okay? That's what we want her to do. Would I be tell I've believed this now I also have other friends and people in my life that I would consider dear darling close friends. Do I believe they can hold water sometimes? No, not really. I'm not going to tell them some things. Um, there are things that I feel comfortable, for example, telling you, Georgio, that even I still will be like, don't you breathe a word of this. And you laugh at me when I say that, but it's, I still,
Yeah, we
just to be
all do
safe.
that. Yeah.
Right. But there are other people that I wouldn't even tell those things to that you and I have discussed, off camera because we technically are on
Mm-hmm.
camera right now. Now, when Tamara said to Vicky and mostly Shannon, when she sat back down with Shannon, I didn't mean to start shit. Oh, yes, ma'am, you did. Go ahead and admit it. That's fine. We know what you were doing. But that being said, if Heather's not bringing it up on camera, maybe this was intended to just be a little shit stirring behind the scenes. Heather's not. Heather and Tamara are like complete polar opposites when it comes to how they handle things. Um, on top of that, when it comes to Heather moving to Beverly Hills, she can't be on Beverly Hills. She cannot. It is not possible. I think I said this last week. She doesn't fit in the world because she fits in the world too well. The reason Heather works on Orange County is because she is an enigma to the women of Orange
Yeah.
County.
Yeah. It wouldn't work the same way, to your
No,
point, because she would just be blending in.
there you go.
She's not going to be as special. She'll be running for her own money because there'll be other antics in Beverly Hills that the she doesn't have to worry about that in Orange County. She doesn't have to worry about competing. in
Mm-mm.
financial situations. She can on camera comfortably talk about, they sold their house randomly, you know, like she didn't put the feelers out, which is why you came back in the first place, Heather, is because you wanted to off market sell that house for the maximum. And just so
Hmm.
happened that someone just randomly called and said, "Hey, are you looking to sell? Maybe
Mhm.
65 mil will do it." I don't know, Terry. We haven't really thought about it. Yeah, you
Mhm.
did. That was your whole intent of like building the house in the first place. I mean, just say that. There's nothing
You built
sneaky
a
about it, but
salon.
it's just weird that they're trying to make it seem like, well, it's I'm tired of managing of his staff. I want something else. It's like, yeah, don't ever, ever, if I ever at any point complain to you or anyone that I now need to relocate because I'm tired of managing a staff of people to run the house, I don't want to be a GM of my house.
Giorgio, I will give you a reality check so
Please
fast.
do. Please do.
I'll say, do you want to come live with a toddler?
Well, by the point I have staff, your toddler won't be a toddler anymore.
Let's manifest it, okay? God, what if I had
Oh.
another one? Jesus, take the wheel on that. Um, yeah, that being said, when she was like, it's a job I don't want, Terry. I want that job. I want to oversee my own staff. Okay. Just
What do you have
God,
a staff for?
like God, if universe, whoever's listening, let me prove that I would not become a spoiled terrible brat if you let me be rich enough to have my own staff. Okay, just let me prove it. Okay, I would show through my actions that I could do. I could handle it. I could handle it. Here, you hear my prayer? No, no. All right, just saying. I would be happy to have that job.
Hey, I'd love an extra set of hands. If anything, just some dog nannies to feed the dogs. That would save me some time, at least a half hour.
Yeah, I mean, come on, you know? Let's just go ahead and jump. First of all, I just want to ask another thing very quickly. um, what do we think of Shane? Have we warmed up to Shane or are we?
So, I okay. Shane is a little asshole. Let's be quite, and I'm sure Emily would agree with that. He's a little asshole. He's condescending. He's got a great, bless you. He's got a great
Thank
sense of
you.
humor. Um, does he say things at the wrong time sometimes? Like when they all went on their family excursion and he was saying like smart alecky shit. I felt for Emily because I also, when she talks about how like she didn't have that dynamic with family doing things together growing up, so she really puts a lot of pressure on making sure that that's different for her kids, and he doesn't get that because I think he obviously didn't grow up that way. So I think he
Hmm.
he becomes aloof at times when she's trying to have a moment or he makes a stupid joke even though it's funny. Like I think she thinks it's funny, but I do
Is he
think that
funny
her
though?
feeling, I don't know if he's a fun, like I don't think he's a comedian, but I think in terms of her and how their dynamic is, he's got to have a sense of humor because she's kind of a ball buster. You know what I mean? Because he's like Mr. Mom in a lot of ways.
Mm, mm. I don't find him to be very funny at all. Um, ugh, like I'm glad. Let me put it this way. I'm glad it works for them. But what I'm going to tell you, and now thank God, you know what? There are many reasons why I am not and would not be in a relationship with Shane. Shane should also be like I get it. Like he sees Emily, who is stunningly beautiful. I mean, she is gorgeous. And I don't care what anyone says about her body before she lost weight or after she lost weight. She has the most gorgeous curves. uh, she's just, I think she's, I'm sorry, I think Emily is like a goddess, okay? And she's so intelligent. And I think Emily is very funny. And Shane, it's almost like he's that kid, that guy in high school who knows he bagged the hottest chick. And so because he knows that, he's got to like do whatever he can to occasionally try and bring her down a few notches when he doesn't need to. He needs to just let her be the goddess she is. And he needs to just be silly and funny with her, but not be saying things like, I will never forget the rest of my goddamn life. It was as if he had said it to me himself when they went to dinner. And he said, you really want to eat that bread? I will never forget that because that is not someone who loves me.
Okay, well, let's be clear. That is the one and only time that I would be okay if she had set the table on fire.
Yeah.
I and taken the bread basket with her.
I
Because that's not, even if that's something that she told you to do, like hold me accountable, don't let me eat all the bread at the table. Yeah, do that off camera.
Thank
Do
you.
not do that to me on camera when I already get like bullied online for my
For
weight.
having a
Even though
gorgeous
she
body.
never, I I'm being dead ass. I never looked at her and thought, not that I look at people like to
No, I
each
know
their
what you're
own,
saying.
but I've never noticed anything abnormal where I was like, wow, she needs to get fit or like any of that. So when she
No.
did get fit, I was like, holy moly, man, it just gets better and better. Like
Yeah.
she's like, now it's like, she'll take your man
I,
kind of vibe. You know what I mean? Like if she came up into a room
oh my
and you were with
gosh.
your man, I would clutch him a little tighter because she's got a nice
Especially,
ass.
that's exactly
Shout
what I
out
was
to
about to
Emily's
say.
ass.
With that ass, girl, don't come walking into any room with me and any man of mine.
Stay away from my
God.
man, Emily.
Yeah. I mean, listen, someday you could probably steal a lot of straight women away too. My God.
Are you
So,
kidding?
yeah, that's why I'm like, I'm just kind of like Shane. Have maybe, and I'm not trying to be like, oh, Shane's not attractive enough. The thing is, there are like, let's put it this way: Pete Davidson is not. Ideally, you don't look at him and go, he is the hottest thing I've ever seen. But you better believe with his personality, there are reasons why he has pulled all these gorgeous women because his sense of humor. Shane
His
was
big penis.
oh right, the BDE. I forgot about that. But honestly, listen, that penis is not taking me to dinner, and I'm not having a
Isn't
conversation
it?
with that penis. I mean, like, yeah, but
Are you
like not.
sure?
Yeah, it's not worth it like that for
Apparently,
me.
there's a lot of women disagreeing with you because
I think
they're
so.
clearly going to dinner with said penis and having
Yes.
conversations with said penis. So
Yeah, but he's got the personality too. You know
he's
what I'm saying?
funny.
That's it.
Listen, guys out there, focus on getting a sense of humor, baby.
Hmm.
You will get laid a lot more, I promise you. I
And
promise you. I've
that's
seen a
it.
lot of my girlfriends go home with some ugly ass dudes, but they were funny as shit.
There you go. And that's something else. If you also, people tend to endear themselves. This is a little psychology break for you to people who laugh at their jokes more than the people who make them laugh. That's also. So I mean, think about it.
Hmm.
You're like, oh my God, I love being around them. They think I'm so funny. Like because it makes you feel good. That is also a thing. So it needs to be reciprocated. Like a lot
Yes.
of things need to be reciprocated.
Yes.
Okay. Humor as well. There you go. Uh, mm, Shane was really on one of my very particular nerves this episode. I think he just was because it was like, yeah, Emily has less patience than you because not only did she have to actually like grow these children, which I don't care. I will take that I don't know, award, that medal, because that sucks. Some people enjoy it, I guess. I did not enjoy growing a human. I enjoy having this human in my life, my child. I should preface that as what I'm talking about. Um, can y'all tell there's an Adderall shortage because it's really affecting my ADHD bad? Um, anyhow, that being said, of course she has less patience because she is with those children 24/7. It is so much easier to have patience with your children when you have more breaks from them.
Mm.
Shane has a lot of breaks from them. Yes, he may be at work, but that is so very different. It's so different.
Well,
So different.
he's clearly pegged himself as the cool dad. I think he proved that, in terms of how the kids view the parents. I think they would
Oh,
probably go to Shane before they went to Emily. But I do feel like the kids also have Shane's sense of humor and they pick on Emily as well. So, she gets it from all angles, but she's got a good thick skin in that way. Like she's clearly not taking it super personal, but I could see in the moment when she was like emotional, I was like, okay, this is like like flustering, or
yeah.
it's
Mhm.
too much for her. She's trying to have a moment, and everyone's like kind of like taking a crack at her.
Oh, I saw myself. I think that's what it was. I saw myself and Emily there when he was like, she starts tearing up, and Shane's like, "What? It's hot. That's why. What's wrong with you? Nothing's wrong." I'm like, "You motherfucker."
Oh, Shane,
The
he's just
way
messing with her.
I mean, sometimes stop fucking with me. Just be nice for a second. You can fuck with me afterward, okay?
I feel like he does it because they're filming. I do. I don't know why. I think
Probably.
he saw
Yeah.
her doing too much. And so he's like, I'm not playing this game. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, I'm going to pick on you because you're being extra for the camera now. Like, you're not crying. Stop. But like, you know what I mean? But like,
I
that
would
is
have
why
killed
I
him.
think they work, because I don't think, because she carries a lot of masculine traits in the way that she deals with her emotions,
Yeah.
whereas he's more feminine in his approach. Like he's more like, so it's just, I think
Hmm.
they balance each other, but obviously he has fun, taking the piss out of her.
I'm just I don't think I don't know. I'm one of those people that I love dishing it and taking it, but then like if I'm telling you I need a second and you don't give it to me, I'm gonna be like, I think we should.
Oh no, it's like it's over.
Yes. Like, and the littlest thing, it doesn't have to be anything that was actually that rude. I'll be like, "You're so fucking rude." Or the way Heather, that is so rude.
That's so rude. Rude.
Rude.
So rude. I need that soundbite
um,
somewhere in my podcast.
yeah, you you do. I'll show you how to do that if I still remember. God, I hope I don't have someone come after me for using sound
God.
bites. God,
Is
like
that illegal?
I don't know. There was this, I have to be honest, there was a soundbite I really wanted to use in my opening, and I'll tell y'all about this. That it was from Step Brothers when I can't remember who said, yeah, no, it was Will Ferrell goes, "God damn it, did we just become best friends?" And when John C. Riley's like, "Yep." And I love that. And I really wanted to use that in the opening sequence of this podcast. But I was like, great, as if I need whoever, Warner Brothers,
I,
Paramount, who the
yeah,
fuck are
I
you?
feel like they would totally come after you for that,
Because
though.
I am
They
at the
would
top of their
totally.
list.
Yes. They're listening to the podcast, and the minute you put it on,
They're
that's
all
it.
Bravo besties. They every single one of them. Oh my god. They want to take such a big share of my revenue, my big giant revenue. Okay, enough making fun of
You should
myself.
just sell to them. Just sell your brand.
Yeah, totally. They get millions, retire. And we did touch on the whole thing with when they were at the boxing class, which okay, seeing Jen, I have to comment on this, trying to uh that bag. If you are expecting me to believe that Jen has that body from simply doing yoga, fine, I will give up my entire life to yoga. You are after four children. I think she's birthed four children, and but she has five children. She has biologically birthed at least three or four. And you're expecting me to believe those are the abs, ma'am? You couldn't you like were you afraid you were going to break a nail, because that I get. And I'm not trying to be like facetious here. Listen, it's always my freaking middle finger. Someone explain this to me. I'm overusing it, I don't know, but I literally
It's
cracked my nails. I just got done the other
it's
day, and
probably because it's longer. So when it's in a fist, you're
mm,
applying more pressure directly to the tip of your middle finger. Is
mm,
my thought behind it, because of the length.
logic is what you're throwing at me, and I like that because
I don't-
sometimes logic is needed.
I hate logic most of the time. I
Yeah,
hate it.
tell me about it. Um, but yeah, where Heather is talking with Tamara and Jen. I should rephrase that as Tamara is talking to Heather and Jen, because she was steering this conversation, right? And there is something again where I need y'all to ride this train with me for a minute. where Tamra says in confessional after she brings up to Heather about Shannon and John, because it was kind of funny what Heather was saying in her own confessional, which was, what are we talking about Shannon and John all day long? Like we're not talking about their relationship all the time, which I bet, yeah, that's probably true. But Tamra says in her confessional, she is first of all, she says, "Oh, I already told her what you said, bitch." Like, she goes there. Then she says, "I just want to see for how long and how far she's going to ride this lie." And again, Heather's like, "No, I think they're happy. They seemed happy." Happy. It's like, "Yeah, I hear they're happy." Now, again, what would we be saying if Heather were the one to have brought up this stuff on camera? Would we be saying, "Oh, Heather's being real," or would we be saying Heather's the one being a messy bitch by bringing it up on camera?
No, they would love it. They would love Fancy Pants to do what Tamra's doing. Are you kidding me? It's because it's Tamra. It's just like what we're seeing now, and I don't think, and I'm gonna be honest, I don't think they're on any level the same. But I've seen some comparisons of saying like people saying Tamra is acting like Rinna with trying to like go after other people's things, which I guess in the sense of like
I see it.
her pulling the story forward, if that's what you mean, yes. Because let's be clear, I said this in my little recap on TikTok last week. If we didn't have Tamra, these women would be pulling the wool over our eyes. Shannon and John are the happiest couple in OC. Heather is doing amazing, sweetie. She's not talking badly about Shannon and her relationship. Gina wouldn't have been triggered because she wouldn't be caring as much. She doesn't care. She's confusing to me. Now you're friends with Jen. Now you
I
guys are like
cannot.
sisters all of a sudden, and you're gonna vouch for her. You
I
just need your
cannot.
friend to stand up for you. Like that's what you need. It's like, when did
That
this
was
happen?
insane to me. Insane to me. And also, while I'm at it, I know that I'm all over the place, but I'm going to, if y'all are going to force Gina onto my television screen, you need to get her a subscription to something other than Rent the Runway, or get her a better paycheck where she is not buying designer leggings, athleisure wear. Gina has lost all this weight, looks fantastic. She looked great before, by the way, but when you lose weight, you want to dress cuter. Put her in a cute crop top outfit, not this stupid, like, that is not what the women in OC are wearing to just go shopping all the time. They are not wearing a weird white Gucci knockoff. And then also, I'm sorry, I have to go off about this because, like, I know OC is not known for their fashion. Okay. That is, I would love to see Jenna Lyons go on Watch What Happens Live and have to sit next to, I'm going to say, maybe Heather, because Heather Fancy Pants thinks she's got the fashion game down, or sit her next to Dorit. That's a whole other show. And have Jenna say, "Are you a fashion victim or not?" Let's do that game on Watch What Happens Live, number one. But like things like Jen wearing that Louis Vuitton skirt, you could have worn a regular ass skirt without a Louis Vuitton print on it and go buy the handbag. Wear something cute. Okay, first of all, Tamara and I shop at the exact same boutique, one of my favorite boutiques, period. I again, here I am sharing my favorite products in stores, and no one's paying me to do it, so that's how you know it's very genuine. Vici collection, Vici dolls. Tamara and I have worn the exact same shit so many times from them. It is so cute and it is not expensive. Okay. That being said, I can't take this like desperate need to show us, that there are designers out there with designer labels. Carry the nice handbag. Don't waste your goddamn money on a freaking. I don't even know that I believe that Louis Vuitton skirt was actually authentic.
Can I just be let's cut the shit, okay?
Hmm.
Let's just cut it right now because as far as Jen goes, the Fendi on Fendi looks like the last few episodes, I'm sick of it. I don't care if it's real or fake. I don't care if any of these things are real or fake. To me, you guys are putting it together in such a manner that it almost looks fake, even if it's real, because of how, do you know what I'm trying to say? Like,
Yes,
have
I
you
do.
ever, and I honestly, like, I hate to be snobby about this, but I, there's no excuse. You do not need to go spend thousands of dollars on
Thank you.
blouses and skirts and such. Invest in handbags and shoes.
Yep. Those don't
That's it.
depreciate the way
They
that
but shoes make or break the outfit.
Yep.
Buy brooches, buy accessories, buy things that will add a little bit of flair to your wardrobe. Also dress for where you're going. We had this issue with
Thank
the New
you.
York women on Sunday. Guys, where the fuck are you going? Why are you dressing like you're going to the People's Choice Awards? Like, it's just sometimes you don't need to get this fashionable for what the event is. Like, me personally, I would love to see a lot more jeans and t-shirts in OC. Like, cute
What they actually wear. And
jeans
maxi
and
dresses.
wear some ripped up, nice fitted jeans with some banging ass shoes, a nice
Mhm.
bag, and some sunnies, and just go lunch and brunch it. I don't
That
need to
looks
see
so
you
much
in
more
Louis Vuitton
chic.
monogrammed pencil skirts and these
Thank
like
you.
Gucci t-shirts that you got on Etsy. I don't care. We know Gina doesn't have all this money. It just bothers me because I would much more want to see like someone grow
Yes.
in that way. And I'd rather
Yes.
see in like after she gets her real estate license, then Gina's like living it up. Now she's like, yeah, now I can do this, bitch. Not now.
Do you think okay, so I have a couple points
It's
here.
just not realistic.
You brought up so many things that like my brain. First, going back to Roni, there is one of the many reasons Jenna Lyons is considered one of the most fashionable people. And I remember Sai said that, oh, she's got the biggest closet, but like it's just a bunch of shirts and jeans. Jenna grew what is called a capsule wardrobe, but she made it beyond capsule. And it has so much diversity that typically capsule collections don't have when you like, listen, y'all, if you are someone who never knows what to wear and you're always like, I'm always behind on trends, I can't find anything that fits my body, fast fashion, whatever, work on getting a capsule wardrobe because I'm telling you, that's something I would like to do. I just, my brain and everything, I'm always on the fly, so it takes time to build one of those. Look into doing that. That's what Jenna Lyons always looks chic because she has every variation of a dress shirt. And tell me how wearing even if it were with cutoff shorts, a white dress shirt that's tucked in or French tucked with a cute pair of just get your designer sandals or get a pair of just some of those Chanel espadrilles and a nice little handbag. Nothing will scream money more than that, even if you don't have money. It's chic. And they're reaching. And it's like, Gina, you are on what season? How many seasons have you been on this TV of ours? For a while. Okay. Jen, she's new. You got to learn whatever. And OC, it is a different world. Okay. But the women in OC are not just wearing Fendi cardigans. That's not what they're wearing. It's just like,
But no
I
one
don't
really dresses that way. Like, do you know what I'm
ever.
saying? If
Who
they
has the money to buy
did,
it?
well, but even if they did, okay, they're not wearing it to just go shoot the shit at Javier. Like, it's not that vibe. It's just not. Not even in Los Angeles. People are not decked out in
Oh, no.
monogram. They are, but the ones that are the ones that don't have the money. They don't have cash
Yeah.
flow. The real people that have cash flow look like Jenna Lyons on a normal day. The
Yes, they
trucker
do.
hat, the glasses, like what I'm wearing. I am very much a jeans t-shirt and I'm a tracksuit lover with some cute ass fucking sneakers or shoes. You can do whatever you want. And that is like never going to go out of style.
Right.
It's these trendy, it's like the makeup artists that wear all the makeup they use, and then you see like the real, not I don't want to say the real makeup artist because now people are going to be offended. Everyone's a real makeup artist. What I mean is there's a different class of artists, makeup artists, that when you see them, you're like, you're a makeup artist. They don't have any stitch of makeup on. They don't, their
Right.
hair's not overly done. They're wearing black. or jeans.
That's
That's
Mary
it.
Phillips. Yeah,
Mary's
that's
a good example. There's a ton of artists that are like that. They don't show up
they
like
paint the
that's why
canvas.
Psy is that makeup artist equivalent for the fashion community. Like she's gonna put on a whole getup for the Instagram look just to
Mhm.
go have brunch somewhere where everyone's wearing a polo and khakis. We
Listen,
went way off the grid from
we
OC to New
did.
York, but there was just parallels with the fashion.
Well, but that's the thing is it's like, and going in with Gina and what she's doing, I'm gonna say like one of the ways you can typically tell that someone is just trying to oh, I'm thinking of a very particular person that is a content creator, that I still won't ever say her name, because she told me, "Don't ever make another video about me." Listen, bitch, I won't, and I sure as shit will never say your name, at least on here. If y'all are ever wondering, I'm sure you could do a deep dive and figure out exactly who I'm talking about. She lives in oh, I better be careful. I'm gonna say she is a Gucci belt wearer. Okay. Everyone knows that like, well, the Becky Caitlyn influencer who is like
This
the
person,
Gucci
I'll tell
belt.
you right now. Let me tell you exactly who this person is. The equivalent of the person who always gets invited to all the cool shit, and you don't know why the fuck she's there, and that's why she knows all the people and information she knows. Outside of that, bye bye.
Mhm. Mhm.
And I don't ever shit on any creators for
No.
putting themselves out there, but the way in which this one puts themselves out there is as if she is
And
on the
speaks to other people.
inside.
Mhm.
Exactly, and she doesn't. She just somehow is connected, and I think it's based on location
It
mostly,
is.
but
Yeah.
that is what that is. That's not she doesn't have boots on the ground like she wants to make people think.
No.
Calm down.
No, but she certainly likes to bully people over how many followers they have or don't have on
Oh,
certain
who gives a shit?
platforms.
It doesn't matter on
Because
TikTok. They
that's
don't push it out to all of your followers every time, sweetheart.
listen, I yeah, ooh, the way I could just go off on that. Um, but yeah, it's the people like that are wearing like the Gucci belt and like now listen, do I love that, the Gucci camera bag? Yes, it's cute. Would I be a basic bitch and carry that if I had the money? Absolutely. Now, you wouldn't because it's the most practical handbag I could possibly own if I were spending the money. But it's the people with the Gucci belt with the white t-shirt. Oh my god, they were wearing this like in the first or second episode. It was Taya French doing this. They were the same outfit when they went bowling. Y'all, stop it. Stop it with it. It works on men when they're wearing a suit. I don't have a problem with it there, in which I hate to admit that because Tom Sandoval wore that fucking Gucci belt with everything for all
No,
promos.
I don't care. Don't wear a Gucci belt with any fucking suit or stop it.
I mean, I don't know. I'm trying to find some justification. Maybe it's
There's
just
not.
no. Enough with the labels, okay? Even Heather, you too, we know you're rich.
Oh my
Unless it's a
god. It's not
cute
about the money,
style.
Caitlin. It's not about the money. It's not.
It needs to be a cute style. I can say from experience. Now, how do I put this the right way too? That, and I know you can as well, that just because there's a label on it doesn't mean that in that it says made in France or made in Italy, that it is actually better quality or that it's
No.
stitched together more nicely or that it feels better because I can tell you some of the worst pairs of jeans I have ever had to wear have come from the most like uh, when I say like they cost over $1,000. I did not spend my money on them. I don't know how else to put this. They were the worst, most uncomfortable, unflattering pair of jeans I've ever owned in my entire life. And people would come in and actually pay money for them. And I was like, I mean, go
Because they're
off, do
just
your thing.
I don't know about you, but when I worked like when I was doing things with Bergdorf Goodman,
Hmm.
you'd
Hmm.
get back access to where all the goods are, and the shit doesn't look as fucking nice back
On
there.
those plastic hangers? No, sir.
No, or when they're stacked in the box. Like I remember there was like a stack of sac de jours in a box that hadn't been unloaded yet, and someone was purchasing one and they just grabbed one. It was in the plastic, like straight up out of the factory. They fluffed it up. You know how they do. Fluffed it, got the box, and then before you knew it, you took it out. You would never thought that that's where it came from. But when you see that, it takes the air out of all the like
Yeah.
tires when people are walking around and they're showboating this belt or that bag or this thing, because you're like, if you
Yeah.
only knew how
You
much
only
money
knew.
you spent and where that person went and snatched it out of a box in the back. It's
Horrible.
wild.
Trying to rub out scratches and
Or
other
that.
things.
Does this look new enough? Like you know what I mean? Like it's not.
Because it's
That's
like
not how
it's
it
skin.
comes.
It's
It's not
skin.
coming prepackaged in those boxes.
It's crazy what people would expect. Like you are purchasing action, and this is terrible, but it's the truth. You're purchasing skin that has been sewn together. If you scratch your own wrist, guess what? You're going to have a scratch there for a minute. Now, because your body can heal itself, it won't always be there. The leather handbags are the same thing. Anything leather. Once it's scratched. Now, listen, I do have my own techniques of how to kind of get them out. And listen, I can do it. But God, anyway, wow, we are way off. There was something else I was like remembering, but now I don't. So that's okay. Oh yeah, I kind of wonder if Gina knows her time is up on Orange County and if she's kind of gunning to be on Selling Sunset OC.
Look, I listen. She might be better off in a more produced environment. I think someone needs to tell her how to be. I don't think she can go out there on her own and strategize and work with what she's got. It's too forced. This Gina that we have this season is like mad at everything and anything. Whatever you're mad at, that's not right. It's just like, when did you get all up in arms about every single thing all of a sudden? Because her producer scared the living shit out of her. And I'm
Told
gonna,
you.
sorry if we're gonna discuss this in detail, but that scene of her doing the fake, let me sell you this house,
Oh my
I could have
God.
left that in the vault. We did not need that at all.
At all. Oh my God. I don't even know why we're doing that. That's part of why I'm kind of wondering, are they trying are they or is she hoping to get on Selling Sunset OC? Because I think we might possibly see an MJ crossover into Buying Beverly Hills. I mean, she is working for the agency depending on what her contracts are with Bravo. Listen, I would watch. Now, MJ is totally different, though. Let me put Mercedes is a totally different entity who was much more captivating to watch on my screen. That being so, when I say yes, I would watch her absolutely on that show. She would eat those little girls right up.
Oh, of course.
But could it? I don't know. I wonder if Gina could go on Selling Sunset OC. And I mean, I wonder if those girls would put her to work too. It'd be a totally different setup.
She'd be a totally different Gina.
Totally. It'd be interesting for a
I could see it. I could
minute.
see it with the Rent the Runway looks that she's pulling. I mean, sign her up.
Having worked for Rent the Runway, I do know more than one Selling Sunset star uses Rent the Runway
You know, it just own
all
it
the time.
though. Like just own it. You're filming
Get
a
a
show for
sponsorship.
God's sakes. I would hope you have a sponsorship.
They
Jeez
don't.
Louise.
They don't. Not with Rent the Runway. They
That's
should get
that
it.
is just dumb. That is
I
so
agree.
dumb.
I agree.
You're
I remember
literally
when I saw some
promoting
of the
their
names.
clothing. Literally. Like, why would you not?
When I saw some of those names, I was like, "Are you really?" There are people, yeah. And y'all, when we say we think Gina's using the rent, using Rent the Runway, I, it's like only half joking because when I tell you the women that would spend $2,000 a month, which is hard to do at Rent the Runway, I'm going to be honest, but they would do it and you could see their address. They lived absolutely in Bel Air, Beverly Hills, spending this money rather than just buying the clothes. It's sustainable at the end of the day,
But you're not going to
but
wear it more than once if you're on camera. Let's be honest. You're not going to wear
no.
this on camera again
Mm-mm.
or really ever, because if you're a public figure now, you risk the like someone might photograph you. Now, me, you're going to catch me wearing the same shit because I like my
all the time.
clothes.
Yeah.
I'm not big on that. If I was filming a TV show, then I would be honest and say, yes, I'm working with a Rent the Runway or I'm working with a
Yeah.
stylist to pull clothing for my looks for the show so I don't have to go into my own. Because that's something I'm not going to waste all my personal looks for a
No.
TV show and then I can't wear half the shit again because it's like
I don't know why.
attached to something that I've done. But I would be honest nonetheless and say, yes, thank you to whoever is
Yeah.
lending me the clothes because it's a team effort. I mean, you're not just none of these people are looking this way when they're not filming the show. Let's be
No.
honest.
Well, Gina might. Her denim jacket and
I mean,
signature look.
she goes between Rent the Runway and Kohl's for me, so I just can't figure out what her personal style is yet. I don't even think she
No.
knows.
No. I mean, listen, I get it. I don't know my own personal style half the time anyway. So I'm not knocking that, but okay. I'm sorry. We went way off. Um,
We always do.
it does happen. The triple date boat night. Okay.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. So I get I know. You are not going to fully convince me that that was Ryan and not Mike, the situation Sorrentino that walked up in there.
I, for a split second, was like, is this Jersey Shore
Which they
spinoff?
are
What is
on
going
Watch What Happens
on?
Live. Aren't they coming on Watch What Happens Live like tonight? Thursday? Pretty sure. Uh,
That, first of all, I am going to say this too. This is just a fashion episode, apparently.
apparently.
But let's be clear, that getup that he had on, I'm sorry. If you are my man and we're about to get on John Jansen's fucking boat, you are not fucking wearing that on camera with me, douchey. You're gonna go put on a polo and some fucking navy fucking slacks and some Sperry's, and you're gonna fucking act the part with that fucking jacket with the fake graffiti writing and the leopard collar. Where were you going? And why are your jeans so goddamn tight and short?
Asshole. Yes, why were your jeans so tight and short? I kept trying to figure out what his jacket said. It
I
kept saying,
didn't. I was just like, I'm sick of it already. Like,
it said
you've
like
been
put
on.
me first on it.
Of course it did. But like, the point is like, you are an absolute trash bag. Like, what on earth? You go out in Orange County dressed like that to go to fucking dinner when Jen's dressing in her like
She looked perfect.
black house, white market get up in her little Gucci. Like, you're showing up in your like Jersey Shore, we're gonna hit and rage tonight. That's not what y'all were doing. I don't know what kind of party you thought John Jansen was throwing on his boat.
Listen, aside, I feel like John Jansen. While we're on the John Jansen topic, there is something that is alarming about him that makes me very uncomfortable. Um, it's now it's okay for a man to call his partner sweetie, but it's the way he says it. And also, like, aside from the fact that he did make Shannon crawl from the passenger seat across the driver's seat because I'm sorry, you couldn't just let her out of the car before
No,
you parked it, you absolute twat. And then on top of that, the way he like is he a real person? I feel like he's not. It's like it's almost like someone has their hand up his ass and he's like a puppet. And it's not Shannon. Shannon doesn't know how to do that with a man. Like Shannon's not like the puppeteer for a man, you know? I don't find her to be that person that yeah, no. See, her hands don't even do that. Her hands
no, they
just
don't even
Barbie hands.
bend.
They don't.
Shannon's
So,
not even a real person.
I mean, I feel like John is more so like the fake.
He's like a
Um
deep fake.
Yes. What is like there's
Mm-hmm.
something so deeply off about him.
It's because he is super duper private, which again, don't understand why he's dating Shannon Bedore. Because you can't tell me you didn't know that she was on a reality show when you met her because she was on a reality show. Number two, you've been with her a while, so you know she's staying on said reality show. Number three, this is
Why?
gonna I'm sorry, like I you have to show some disgruntled, even if there's nothing going on, make it up. Do what everybody else does. Be smart. we're in a good place, babe. Don't let production cause problems. Let's cause our own problem that we know we are facilitating and we'll get over. She doesn't do that.
Mm.
Shannon hasn't had that conversation with John Jansen to say, listen, they'll stay off your back if we put out some like fluffed up shit that maybe already happened between us that we're over. In my head, I've pre-populated the plan. When Jeff and I go on reality TV, we're pulling from the archives.
Yep.
What happened in 2013, babe? We're going to bring that up this season. That's going to be our problem. We've already worked through it. We know how it goes. We know how we're going to react to it. No one's going to be pissed at each other at the edit. When someone goes fishing around and finds out something that you weren't ready to discuss, and then it's already becoming a topic, that's when you start shitting bricks. And that's when John Jansen's packing his shit up and saying, peace out, which he did. He was just nice enough to wait till filming ended because he didn't want to break up with her on camera. But
Nice enough. No, he's a bit of a coward, if you ask me. He is.
Pussy ass bitch.
Thank you very much. That's it right there. I just, because the way when they're finally at dinner, oh my God. Well, first of all, this was something I just got to point out because it's Shannon, and I love the Shannon isms that happen. When they were on the boat and they passed Nobu, and they were like, "Oh, it's the scene of the crime," and we're like, "Crime? Who was killed?" And Jen said, "Me, by way of napkin, whatever." And then Shannon is trying to break the tension by going, "Cheese, anyone? Cheese? Who wants some cheese?" I was like, Shannon, girl, let it ride out.
Did you also pay attention to how they purposefully made sure to show Shannon untying the boat from the dock? And then Ryan was like, do you need help? And she's like, no, I got it. And he's like, all right. And I think they did that. At first, I thought this is going to be one of those like idiosyncrasy things where we're going to get Shannon being goofy, trying to untie the boat. But it wasn't. It was more to show that Ryan is that type of douchebag, that he didn't get up and help her. Now, if we're going to be honest, John Jansen, that's his fucking boat. You should be untying that fucking thing. But that's a whole other story. But it seemed like Ryan was the closest to her that he could have helped her, and he didn't. And he was fine with letting her seemingly look like she was struggling, even though she wasn't. I think she was playing that up for the camera. But yes, I believe when I saw that, I was like, they want us to know that this guy is douchey as fuck.
Because he is. He's so, and because then when they get to dinner and the conversation after Shannon and John very conspicuously, oh, I think it's time we go to the restroom. Yeah. Oh, I guess we'll go to the restroom.
We'll go together.
What? And when Ryan, I literally took this down verbatim because I was like, he's got to be fucking kidding me. So Ryan starts off after they were like, oh, dick pics, I'm tired of hearing those two words together. Thank you very much. Ryan says to Eddie specifically, he goes, first and foremost, I could cry, brother. He doesn't say brother. Sir, you should not. No.
But Eddie doesn't even talk like that. So it just automatically, because then Eddie's response is like, okay, like, you do? Like, what?
This little speech made no sense. And I'm going to show you how little sense it made by me repeating this speech, because I was sitting there going, what did he just say? He then says, I'm sorry, from the brother, I owe an apology to Eddie. Okay. And then Eddie goes, why? And Ryan says, because I care about you. And if something was told to me and I found out later that it was not true, I mean, it's just not cool. I'm actually empathetic. It hurts my heart to see the hurt that she, referring to Jen, is dealing with on my behalf. And it's definitely been a struggle for me where Jen's come home in tears, and I hate it. I hate feeling so truly hurt. And I will be honest, a bit betrayed by you. What?
What? First of all, did ChatGPT write that for him? Because this is the thing. I don't think they cared about his feelings. They used, which Eddie said. He's like, we're using this scene as an opportunity for you to clear the air on things that are being said about you. But instead, Ryan was like, you really betrayed me. We were brothers. And
Brother.
it's like, I don't think he views you as a brother
I, I'm
at
certainly not a
all.
brother.
I don't feel like they are like that close for him to even try to pull the whole I felt betrayed. What did you feel betrayed about? Because it seemed like you were the one that was saying inappropriate things and doing inappropriate things. So who betrayed you?
Exactly. It was bizarre. Okay. Just to say the least, almost as bizarre as the jacket. The jacket made more sense than him. I and then Eddie asks him about basically the whole thing of, well, have you cheated? Did you cheat on your wife? Oh, yeah, multiple times.
Yeah.
Well, glad you had admitted it, I guess. He's one of those guys that is like, well, I told you the truth. Gosh, shouldn't I don't I deserve something for telling the truth? Okay.
You know what? You're right, Ryan. You told me that you cheated on me multiple times. Get over here, Big Daddy.
You dar No, that's
Come
Jen,
get some of
honey.
the starfish.
Jen's big daddy, remember? Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
That's what
Forgot.
Taylor calls her
That's right.
for some reason. Um, okay. And then when Eddie brings up how Heather Amin told them that Ryan walked into his gym and said, I'm gonna fuck his wife, he asked Ryan if he said that. And Ryan did the thing that is the biggest tell of all. Basically, if someone asks someone else a question, like, oh, are you ready for the race you have to run tomorrow? And they say, yeah, absolutely, totally ready. And they're shaking their head no, that means they're actually not ready, that indication. Well, Ryan indicated immediately when he answered and he said, absolutely no, which means he's absolutely said that about Tamara. Then
He of course he did.
you hear it like the way he absolutely, oh, right, shit, I gotta like, no, no, shit, no, I
Come
never
on.
said that. In fact, Heather Amin was telling me that Tamara was on the treadmill talking about me at the weight station, all that, and Tamara's talking about how hot you are. Who the fuck is saying Ryan is so hot? No one. Because then also, when it comes up in confessional, Shannon's like saying, oh, I've known Heather Amin for years. She's never been a liar. I've never known her to be a liar. And then Jen says, I think Heather Amin is in love with Ryan. No
That
one is
I
in love with Ryan.
Oh
Not
my
even you, Jen.
god.
Not even you.
That proved right there that Jen is the type of girl that would dump all her longtime friends for a
Yep.
douchebag in a heartbeat and then turn around and be like, you're just mad because you wanted him.
I cannot. I
That is
cannot.
really foul of her, though, for her
I
to
agree.
be doing that to her friend. That because we've only seen Heather Amin like once, and I would love to see more of her, and I hope we do because I would be infuriated watching this back if I was Heather. You're gonna dump it all on me and say I made this shit up, and now I'm the that's the crazy little friend that wanted my man kind of thing. Is that what we're gonna
Yep.
dump this into that box?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's wild.
Wild as hell. Because then Ryan, after being prompted by Tamara, and they all decide to move on. So Tamara goes, so what's next? You guys gonna like move in together? Get married? Yeah, all of it. All of the above. Engagement, Bahamas, marriage. Uh, Jen, do not fucking marry that man. Please don't.
She
Please.
will. She will.
She will.
She will. Because she is so broken and insecure. She doesn't know who she is. She's got to figure it out through the men in her life. She expected her first husband to make her figure out who she was and who she wanted to be. That didn't work. So she shipped him off to Oklahoma and started screwing around with Ryan because she saw her other friends were honing in on how hot he was and she doesn't want to be left out. So she went in for it. They took a break. He went and slept with someone else because that was his first inclination after breaking up. I don't know about you, but if I broke up with my man it would be very long time coming before I even approached talking to someone else,
Absolutely.
because my mind and spirit would still be within that relationship even if physically we weren't. So it's weird to me that she's just okay with this. But again, I think we said this on the show last week, was she pretty much stayed with him because she was afraid she wouldn't get cast for the show. So she's got to deal with what she's been served.
That's what Tamara said on Watch What Happens Live. Yeah.
Yeah, and now I believe it even more after watching this week. I do. She will sell her friends down the river to not
Absolutely.
make her man look any more douchey.
Which, honey, like we said last week, save yourself. I swear to God. I mean, listen, and we'll just end it on what Tamara said, which was pretty great on the money there, which, yeah, good luck to Jen and Ryan getting married, and even Jen being able to find any bridesmaids that Ryan hasn't banged because, oh my God,
Or that he
Tamara will not
wants to
get anything.
bang. Or that he wants to bang. Could you imagine? You know, Jen's not bringing her girlfriends to hang out around him.
No. And can you
Absolutely
imagine,
not.
as a female, just trying to be friends with Jen, and though that man and his buggy eyes with his leopard popped collar trying to give you bedroom eyes that he thinks are bedroom eyes. You know what I'm talking about? That man who will just like bug his eyes out at you and you're like, "Are you okay? What's wrong with you?" And he thinks he's flirting. That's what he does to women. I guarantee it. He's that man. Do you know what I'm talking about? Have you seen what I'm talking about? Are
Yes,
we on
but
the same
also
page?
Ryan is that guy that when you're like 24, 25 and you're in Miami and you're like wasted and you see him and you're like, yeah, I'm going to bang him tonight. And you do. And then you never speak to him again. You don't even follow him on Instagram. That is what Ryan is essentially. He's the
Could be.
guy that you bang when you're 24, 25. You don't really know how old he is, but you don't care.
Ugh,
We're in Miami. This is the perfect setting to have a one night stand. I think that's the way to do it. Jen just kept her one night stand and is
she did.
trying to make it a relationship. And I don't think he is a relationship type guy. I
He
just
sure
don't. I
isn't.
think he wants to be a playboy. And that's okay. But Jen, come on.
That ain't you, Jen. You're gorgeous. You seem sweet as can be. There are parts of me for whatever reason that I have to admit this that I don't want to like Jen, but I do.
I
She's likable
do.
because she's sweet. Um that being said, it's just kind of like girl
Jen is going to
he
be our friend that we love, that we're going to be extra hard on because we want her to do better. And I think that's
mhm.
the sentiment in which Tamra was coming from. I know a lot of people are going to shit all over me because they think I'm just defending Tamra. I'm defending the fact that Tamra is doing her job very well, but I'm also
That
defending the fact that she knows Jen more than we do. So I'm going to lean on what she says over what the viewers think of Jen so far because we don't know her that well.
we don't. I do think, well, listen, Tamara's doing her job.
Mm-hmm.
She can be such an asshole though. And
She can, but she admits it at least.
yeah, she does. If you were pulling that shit with me and we didn't have a discussion beforehand, I'd have been like, Giorgio, I swear to fucking God. And I would be like, listen, we
1000%.
we did not talk about this. And that would have been a problem. But they didn't apparently, and Jen should have. Okay, I think we'll wrap here. I that mid-season trailer, I'm excited. It's just getting
It's
better and
good, you
better.
guys. It's if you're not watching, start watching cuz it is, I'm telling you. I know a lot of people are in a mood right now, but I'm
I
telling you,
am.
give it a shot. I mean, I'm in a
Please
mood,
do.
but these episodes make my like mood, like I really do feel better. That
Yeah,
there's
because
wackadoodle people even more so than I am out there that are willing to share that part of themselves
truly,
with us.
truly. And it's such a relief to know that I'm not the craziest person in the room at all times. You know what I mean?
Same.
Depending on the room, but Giorgio, thank you for joining me. Y'all,
Oh, thanks for having me.
of course. Go follow Giorgio at Giorgio Says. Follow my Instagram, my TikTok. Subscribe on YouTube. It's always a fun time around here, and leave a nice review. That always is uplifting. That is all I can say it as without trying to be like feel sorry for me. Leave me a good review. Because some days it's like that one nice review. It's like it actually makes your day.
Well, and they're free. They're free.
Thank you.
Just
That is so
saying.
true. And then yeah, we'll see you next week. All right.
Yes, we will.
Yeah. Bye, friends.
Bye, guys.